Welcome back to Channel 18. Our next guest is Matt Cannon, the Outreach Coordinator for the Harwich Conservation Trust, and Michael Lach, the Executive Director. And we're going to start with you, I think, Michael, today. Yeah. You want to talk about the Monomoy walks, is that right?
Yes. It's
that's to kind of explore the Monomoy region and to get to enjoy it more?
That's right. Actually explore the Native American history associated with the Monomoyic people of centuries ago. And we had a very popular walk series in the spring based on this same format of 3 walks in 3 different locations, one in each of the towns of Harwich, Chatham, and Orleans, which really covered much of the expanse of Monomoyic territory long ago. And these walks are co-led by Todd Kelly, who is a very knowledgeable historian and also an interpreter with Nickerson State Park. So in his professional life, he's also giving his historical background and naturalist knowledge with others throughout the summer and fall. And also he leads tours, private walking tours through his company, Kelly Trailblazer. And then he lends his services to us, either on an individual basis or as part of this walk series. And this particular walk series, called Explore the Native Lands of Monomoyic Territory, is done in conjunction with the Native Land Conservancy. That's a land trust formed in 2013 by Native peoples, including members of the Wampanoag tribe and Nipmuc tribe. They're actually the first Native-led land trust to be formed that preserves land east of the Mississippi, focusing mainly on the Cape. But the walk leader representing Native Land Conservancy is Marcus Hendricks, and he was one of the folks that co-led with Todd last spring. We thought it was so popular, we had a waiting list for this series last spring. Yes, it filled up very quickly. And so
Todd Kelly is, how many generations has he been on the
That's
Cape?
a good question. 12 generations he goes back on the Cape.
So he has a lot to offer.
He does, yeah. That combined with the knowledge and expertise of Marcus, it really creates a wonderful learning opportunity for people on these walks on the land. We're co-sponsoring this walk series among Harwich Conservation Trust, Native Land Conservancy, Orleans Conservation Trust, and Chatham Conservation Foundation. So this is a 4-way land trust partnership to offer this interpretive walk series. Matt and I went on a couple walks last year, and you enjoyed them tremendously, right?
Yeah, especially the...
in the spring, rather. I'm sorry.
In the spring. At the Isabel Smith Conservation Area was one that I remember specifically because it had a really interesting dynamic where you were walking, the path that Native peoples would have walked at that time of year from the upland area down to the Muddy Creek or Monomoy River when the ospreys are coming and the herring are coming. So you really get a sense of the movement of these peoples, and then the dynamic between Todd, who is a 12th or 13th generation Cape Codder, and Marcus, representing the Native peoples. There was a very interesting historical dynamic going on that I think is definitely worth everyone seeing.
So I mean, to give you a sense of some of the different history that will be interpreted and shared on these walks. I mean, the first walk of this series on successive Sundays starts Sunday, September 20th. The next walk is Sunday, September 27th. The last walk, Sunday, October 4th. Now, the first walk, starting Sunday, September 20th, starts in West Chatham, and it's titled Samuel de Champlain at Sequansit, which was a Native American name for that area back in 1606. And this is the description of that walk. It's just fascinating. So you'll walk the barrier beach at Ragged Neck and learn about Champlain's arrival to Stage Harbor in 1606. Consider the story of how this area was named Port Fortune by the Europeans for their good fortune of being helped by the natives to reach safe harbor and make ship repairs. But then consider how that port of good luck quickly became identified as place of mishappenstance.
Wow.
Also learn how the seasonal lives of the first people at Sequansit earned this body of water the name Stage Harbor. So Matt and I attended that walk in March, and it was a sideways rain in about 30-mile-an-hour winds, and
Oh, my
rain
goodness.
verging on snow, actually, I think sleet. It was pretty darn cold. I've never been so cold in my life. But it was amazing. Everybody showed up for the walk. These walks happen rain or shine, and we expect, knock on wood, barring any hurricanes this time of year, that the weather will be much more cooperative in September and into early October. But that just gives you a flavor of some of the history that Todd Kelly and Marcus Hendricks will explore. Now, people can sign up for these walks. You do have to prepay. So it's $45. It's roughly $15 per walk, right? 3 walks times 15 is $45. But whether you attend one walk or all 3, it's still a one-time charge of $45.
Okay.
Still a pretty good deal. You can reserve online at our website, harwichconservationtrust.org. You can reserve by credit card, or you can stop by our office in South Harwich, or mail us a check, or just give us a call if you need more information at 508-432-3997. And we'd be glad to connect you with this really fascinating walking opportunity. It fills up quick, and we expect it to do so again as we experienced last spring, especially now with the weather being so much nicer.
So much nicer.
Yeah, yeah.
We hope.
Yeah. Perhaps one of the reasons why everybody came out still in full force in a driving rain in March is they were cooped up with 3 feet of snow
That's
around
right.
their doors for
Okay.
a couple months all winter. So 30-mile-an-hour winds with driving rain in March probably seemed like a nice day at that point. But we know we've experienced much nicer weather since then. So this will be a lot of fun. We hope people can join us to explore the native lands of Monomoic territory.
Very good. Matt, you have a flyer there.
I
that's
do.
going to advertise your next event, which is the
Wildlands Music and Arts
Studio.
Wildlands Music and Arts Trail. This is the 3rd annual. Last year was a great success. We had about 300 people show up. It's the same weekend as the Cranberry Harvest Festival. It's September 19th, Saturday, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at our nature preserve on Bank Street, the Robert F. Smith Coldbrook Nature Preserve, formerly Bank Street Box. And it should be very exciting. We have 10 artists from the Guild of Harwich Artists. If you don't know, their office is right there on 28 in Harwichport. And a lot of local musicians that are going to be helping us out this year as well, including some local names. Jordan Renzi, who plays some indie folk music, Kathleen Healy, Dylan Ruthier is actually a high school student, and Jennifer Stratton with Jerry Mack, among others.
Mm-hmm. And Just Plain Folk,
Just Plain Folk.
who's been with us since the beginning, 3 years ago. They'll be back. Yeah.
And actually, they're on, and the piano from the Woods originally, which, there's a nice guitar.
Oh, there's a piano.
There's one of the piano players. We have Ruth Treen and Dot Hemmings, and Tom Talismanic.
Oh, there's Dot Hemmings. So that piano in the woods, that's the original.
That's the original.
That's the one that mysteriously appeared back in 2009 in the Bellsneck Conservation Lands with a piano bench sitting right next to it as if somebody had just performed a symphony or concert right there under the canopy of pine and oaks. And for some reason, that blend of music and nature, that story, rocketed around the world, right? Showed up.
Nobody's ever taken credit.
No,
for
ownership
putting
of that piano. No, right? Yeah, exactly. And so at that time in 2009, we had a volunteer named Mary Metzger who was really inspired by that odd occurrence of a piano showing up in the conservation land. She said, geez, why don't we actually have music live played at a conservation area and invite people to walk the trails while they're listening to different musical performances. And so she put together this amazing event later in 2009 in October, and it rained like nobody's business, and so we had to cancel it. And there it sat in the archives of HCT, an idea waiting to be explored. And then in 2013, during our 25th anniversary year, we brought it back to life and had the first annual Wildlands Music and Art Stroll right there, as Matt said, in the 66-acre, now named Robert F. Smith Cold Brook Preserve, right in the heart of Harwich Port. There you see people walking the main trail to and from the wonderful wide scenic trails around that beautiful area. And see some of the artists painting plein air live. They just pick these beautiful scenic spots. And look at that's pastels,
Yeah.
Wheaties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just look at the range of colors there. I mean, the subtlety is amazing. And so these landscapes are just unfolding in front of people as they're walking by. As Chris Banks with a beautiful landscape she's creating. And at the same time as the artists are painting the landscape, as Matt said, they're musicians playing their different instruments and pieces. And it's just an amazing experience, a wonderful blend of art, nature, and music. And we even have a little surprise food coming too. Matt, who's going to be offering some dessert there?
This year we have the Local Scoop ice cream truck, Local Scoops in Orleans, and they offer some delicious ice cream pops.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be the main vendor out there in the field. So as you're walking, definitely stop by and get a little treat.
Mm. And it's only $5 suggested donation per person. If people can't afford that, we're not turning anybody away. But where people want to park is at the middle school, right?
Okay.
Off Sisson Road, also known as Route 124.
And you'll have a bus bring them up?
That's right. From Cape Destinations, we'll have 2 buses.
Okay.
And that's what we've done each of the past 2 years, and it's worked well. So the people will take the buses from the Harwich Middle School and get dropped off right at the Harbor Masters Workshop lot right there at 203 Bank Street, which is our main trailhead, courtesy of the Board of Selectmen, who allow us to use a few parking spaces there and access the property. And then they enjoy the music and art stroll, and then can hop a
How
bus
far
back.
is the musical and art stroll? Does it go up to Queen Anne Road, or does it?
Oh, it's all on site right there at the 66-acre Robert F. Smith Cold Brook Preserve. That's where it'll be. It'll be on site right there. It'll be, people can walk as far or as short as they want.
Is that the place off of Bank Street?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, so it's just going to be off Bank Street?
That's right.
Okay.
And we think it's a nice bookend event to the Town of Harwich Cranberry Harvest Festival, which is going on up the street at Brooks Park.
Yeah.
So, people can enjoy both events that weekend, ours being, Saturday the 19th from 1 to 4. But what details, again, are on our website, harwichconservationtrust.org.
So there's plenty of room. Of course, 66 acres, there's plenty of room to walk around.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But, and are there plenty of space? I haven't walked out there, so I don't know. Is there plenty of wide open space to walk on?
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about that particular preserve is the trails are wide. You can walk 2 abreast, and the sight lines are nice too. It's mostly flat, right? It's long since retired cranberry bogs. The history of that property is, cranberry harvesting really stopped prior to HCT acquiring the property. Harvesting probably stopped in 1999, 2000. And HCT acquired the property in 2001, and has really been working to, gradually restore, habitat and better water flow, and enhance public access, walking access to the property. That's part of another program we can talk about as a large-scale ecological restoration effort. But we also have events there, like this Wildlands Music and Art Stroll. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that should do it for this week.
Thanks, Paul.
Well, I wish you good luck with your walks
Mm-hmm.
and with the stroll.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.